Hey everyone, Pastor George here. I've returned from vacation. I am back on this channel to bring you our Bible study recap from today, which we did. And today we are continuing our journey through the book of Job with the chapter 20 of the book of Job, which is Zophar. And this is Zophar, one of Job's friends. And just to remind you of where we left off last time in Job 18 and 19, we have Job's response to another one of his friends. And what Job says is he essentially is telling them that, you guys are going to be judged for misrepresenting this situation by God, right? He says way more than that, but that's how he ends. And that's how Zophar begins to react, because he begins today by basically showing how anxious and upset he is at what Job is saying, because Job isn't admitting that he did something wrong. And actually, some of the things today show that Zophar doesn't believe the small things that Job has to say even anymore about his life. For instance, you have Zophar calling out Job for his wealth and assigning that with wickedness, and believing that Job he doesn't say this out loud, but what he suggests throughout this passage is that Job has gained his wealth in some wicked way, right? And because he has done that this means is part of why God is punishing him. And if you'll see, things pop up again and again, even at the last part of this, right? If you go to the end of the chapter 20, you'll see that Zophar makes a big point of showing that possessions, or the produce, literally in the Hebrew, is taken away by a flood, right? Everything is lost. And this is describing the wicked man and the situation of Job, to show that Job is valued, or he believes Job is valuing material possessions. And so, and because of his value of them, again, this is Zophar pretty much, I don't want to say projecting, because it's not like his thing, but what he's doing here is he's pretty much saying, well, this is the only explanation for why you're like this, is that you value things too much, and you've acquired your wealth through dishonest means. And so God is punishing you for doing that. And so that's a big part of what he's trying to get across here. One of the things that I think is really interesting on another level is that this whole thing is about retributive justice. And this is the name for what we've been talking about this whole time. This idea that you do something, you get something in return, right? Retribution, right? So if you do something wrong, you're going to get judgment in return. And again, the idea here of God's sovereignty and God's justice over the world is a good one. That's a thing that we believe. The thing that's weird about it, though, is that there is no place for God's mercy in this, right? In this whole system. So, of course, we believe that God is just and that he will give to each the justice they are due. But something that is completely missing from Zophar and all the others is this idea that God is merciful, right? In the end, it looks just like all the other things that they have been saying, where if you just act righteously, then you earn God's blessings. And that's kind of missing the big point. And you have this whole courtroom type of drama going on, right? We've talked about this metaphor for Job before. And Job has asked for testimony, and Zophar said, the natural world testifies against you, and that's good enough reason to not believe you. And so you have this idea that Job is getting what his just deserts, but is this something that Job deserves? No, right? Because we know the story. If you're the reader, you understand what's going on. The problem here is that they lack a sense of mercy for Job, and in general, this type of justice lacks a form of mercy, which of course we as Christians experience greatly on the cross, right? Justice is still done, but mercy is extended to those who haven't earned it. And I think that that's a really important distinction to draw between, I guess, what you could call the traditional system of viewing justice in the ancient Near East and the form of justice that's presented in the Bible. I mean, even in the Old Testament, where God continually forgives the sins of Israel, even when they disobey and even when they turn their backs on him. So I think it's important to remember those things. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be doing Bible study, and I'll start tomorrow with another theologue and a mailbag. But I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to worshiping with all of you on Sunday. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday, and peace out.